I am Donika.
And I am Myra, and this is the Black Women Healing Podcast.
A space to discuss mental wellness.
A space to dive into soul care and vulnerability.
Here, we will support you on your journey as you focus on your healing,
while also giving you the work along the way.
Welcome to Black Women Healing Podcast. Y'all, it's official. We are an Amazon affiliate, and it's only right because our Let's Heal book is offered on Amazon. If you haven't already checked it out, go ahead and click the link in our description and check it out. Help us support you while we support us, while we all support each other, if you know what I'm saying. All right, y'all, check it out. Hey, y'all, we are back with another episode of Black Women Healing Podcast, and today is a special episode because it's just me and Myra, and it's about to be a dope episode, and today we actually are going to focus on grandmothers. But before we get started, we're going to start with a random discussion, and y'all know Myra be coming up with them now, so I'm going to let her ask.
Oh my gosh, literally I have like nothing. Wow, I literally can't think of anything. What is your favorite book from childhood? You can think of like a book. Besides Junie B. Jones.
Oh my goodness. I'm thinking of Mamushka.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about?
No.
I think it was about a Russian grandmother or something. Yeah, I'm pretty sure somebody listening to it knows.
Mamushka?
I don't think it's what it's called, but that's what the grandma. If you put that in, I'm pretty sure it'll find the book. But it was about a kid, like I think a grandmother teaching a kid a lesson about something, but it was a Russian grandmother. And I remember a Russian grandmother, they call their grandmothers Mamushka or something like that. And that's the first thing that just popped in mind.
I've never heard of this.
Or maybe the Goosebump series.
I was a Goosebump person.
The Goosebump, but I don't know why. That one just popped in my head, the Mamushka thing. What about you?
I'm so curious about this Mamushka now. I'm stuck on that. Yeah, but it's like a recipe book pops up and like random stuff. Mine would definitely be the Cheetah Girls.
The Cheetah Girls?
Yeah, so where I grew up in Inglewood, on La Brea and Centinela, it was this bookstore called Zara's Books and Things. And I was in there every Friday. And it's crazy because like I know Zara and her mom. And she'd be like, "You back again?" I'm like, "Yeah, like I gotta get my fix. Like I needed to get like the new book." And then Costco started selling, like, you could get 4 Cheetah Girl books in one book. And I never went back to Zara's after that. Because I was like, I don't need to no more. Because Zara's just sell the one book. And I'm like, I'm looking for my next fix. Like, I need the next book.
How old was you?
Oh, that lasted a few years.
Wow.
I don't know. And then there was this one book I really, really liked. It was Marisol and Magdalena. And it was about 2 girls. They grew up in New York. And they happened to be from Panama. And they ended up linking up in New York, and it was just talking about like their experience, like growing up in New York, and their parents being like first generation in New York. It was really good. Like, really,
so
really
you
good.
you was reading the books of like people's lives, kind of.
Well, not the Cheetah Girls. Well, that was like
I don't even remember.
It's so fictional.
Yeah, I don't even remember I don't think I read the Cheetah Girls book.
It was like the movie, but way more detail. Yeah, it was really good. And I read Goosebumps too. But my mom would be like, "Can you read something else? Like, that's all you read." Do you watch a Goosebumps show? Like, watching it as adults actually good.
No, what's it on right now?
Me and Isaac be watching it.
Is it scary? Because I really don't like scary stuff.
It's a kid scary. Like, it'll make you laugh.
Am I gonna jump?
I jump and then I'm like, ha ha ha. Like, I be laughing after. But, like, it's really good.
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to watch it. I'm a punk.
It's so good.
I don't like to jump. I don't want to jump.
Flashback to your childhood. What was your favorite artist? If you could like name one or two. Like, who was you listening to? Who would you have posters of?
I wasn't a poster child.
Huh?
Nope. I was one of those. I had a SpongeBob room when I was too old to be having, but I was really into it. Me and my cousin, we both SpongeBob. I know. Okay.
Well, I had Hello Kitty for like years.
Okay. See?
But SpongeBob?
Yes. SpongeBob is hilarious. And then SpongeBob, you can watch it no matter how old you are.
It still comes out. You know, new episodes still come out.
Is Hello Kitty a show?
She ain't got no mouse.
Oh. So it's not a show then, right?
I think it actually is a show, maybe in Japan, but I'm not aware of any episodes.
Yeah, I never even thought about that. Like, where's Hello?
How would she talk, though?
I don't know.
She really has no mouth.
I never thought about it. But, yeah, SpongeBob. And then as far as, like, other than that, I never was, like, a child who put posters and stuff. But I was actually a kid who, like, we most definitely should have been listening to Pretty Ricky. I remember,
Pretty Ricky.
Pretty Ricky. We was some old souls, R&B stuff. So I remember my cousin, my first CD ever was, City High, you know that song. What would you do if your girl was at home?
Yeah,
that was my first CD as a kid.
Wow.
I was probably like 8. Well, and I'm over here. What would you do if you?
Oh my god!
Like, why am I saying this?
I don't remember my first CD. Oh no, I think my first CD was like Aaliyah. No, or was it Sammy? One of the two.
Ooh.
I listened to a lot of like Sammy, Aaliyah, and I loved Coffee Brown. I don't know what it was.
Coffee Brown.
After the party, let's take a little time.
I know that. Is that Coffee Brown?
Yeah.
Oh, snap.
Them and Tweet.
Oh.
And it's crazy thinking like back on these scenes because my cousin worked at a record store and these people would come and I'd be the first person in line. Like, oh my God, I gotta get everything signed. Like, I remember meeting these people and like just going crazy. So of course I had the posters. So I was like, they gotta sign something. Like, what?
Yeah, see, you grew up in the fabulous LA
gosh.
area, so we didn't have people coming all the time. We used to have this thing called like the Rust Par.
What's that?
Bus. Like every year before school started, they would have like this event where they would give away backpacks and stuff
so
like
then
that.
random celebrities would show up to that.
Yep, they'll have like different. But other than that, we really didn't get like too many people coming to, like
Yeah,
like you talking about record
Kel.
store, just being at a record store and it being like a sign and nah.
You know Kel from Keenan and Kel?
Mm-hmm.
He be the only person you see at those things. Him or like Nick Cannon. And it's just like, we've seen y'all how many times now?
See, I wouldn't mind seeing what's called a few times.
Who, Kel?
All of them, they funny.
I'm shocked you don't see them around LA. Like, they always be around.
I don't be, well, one, right? Cause
Where you live at, pay attention when you walking down the street. Because I walk down the street and like the game drives by. Or like YG.
That's all I'm about to say. I do not be paying attention.
One time, Where's Chestnut drove by and I was like...
My fine ass more Chestnut in the Inglewood.
Yeah, because the serving spoon is right there.
The who?
The serving spoon.
The serving spoon.
Is that where everybody... Serving spoon?
Yeah, is that where everybody goes or something?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
One time Barack Obama was leaving. I was like, wait, what?
Nah.
What is happening? What do y'all know that I don't? But yeah.
Nah, I've been there well, see, that's the thing. I haven't actually sat down there and ate. I just order food and pick it up.
Yeah, you gotta sit down.
I gotta go and sit there and eat. Yeah. No, I need to do more. But anyway,
I like going on Sundays with the champagne.
Is that what you like?
Because it's free. They give you a free champagne with your Sunday brunch.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it's just one glass, but of course I still get you to buy more. But
yeah, they might as well put a little bit of orange juice in there, make me a little mimosa.
They do.
Okay. With pineapple juice,
Oh my God.
Let's make it happen.
That's hilarious.
Let's do it. But so that's our random discussion. I feel like it was like a 2-parter.
We was on a roll. Next, I was gonna be like, "What was your show?"
Oh Lord! My childhood.
And if it wasn't Cousin Skeeter, what was you watching? SpongeBob. You know about Taina? I feel like nobody knows about that show but me, because nobody talks about it.
I think it's because a lot of people didn't watch it. It came on after a lot of those
Taina.
things. Me too. Oh my goodness.
I feel like Raven was trying to beat her. That's a Raven.
Dang, why you gotta do Raven like that?
Cause don't you notice like the similarities? Except Raven was more like
had
goofy.
but she had the Latina culture type of thing. Taina.
Yeah, I feel like Raven was supposed to be the black version.
Oh no, I didn't think about that.
But Taina wasn't corny.
Cause
that's what Raven is, corny. That's the difference between Nickelodeon and Disney. Disney puts corny spins on stuff.
Yeah, now you're right. Cause Nickelodeon is more like just regular funny, like life funny type of thing. But now I don't know, cause
the audience laughing in the back.
That's so Raven was hilarious too.
Yeah, well,
it was some funny. It was some. Hey, the character development. That's what I miss. Like the little stuff. Like when you think about shows like That's So Raven, you got like the teacher who spit.
Oh,
and, you know what I'm saying? You have like the certain characters. The one I think it was like the stinky boy, like stuff like that. Like the character development on them shows was amazing.
Y'all, where I grew up, so our school, you would think we were broke. We didn't have no real field trips, but we went to go see these shows. And sitting in the audience, they make you fake laugh for everything. Like, we went to go see, like, Judge Jordan, Not So Raven. Like, there was those different shows. Yeah. The only shows I would like, though, was, like, Wheel of Fortune, because it's like, you just be quiet and clap. Oh, so but these shows, it's like, everybody laugh. And it's like, oh, my God. Like, again,
this shit ain't real.
And don't let you have to do it over. And it's like, oh, my gosh. Like, can we go to a regular field trip? Take us to the museum. Why are we coming here?
That sounds fun, though. I went to...
I mean, I was going to all of them, obviously.
Right. And, I mean, well, sometimes they be giving y'all little goodie bags and stuff, right?
No, we never got that.
Oh, hell no. Well, I think that's something they should do. But I went to the Dr. Phil show when I first moved up to LA.
To go to that.
And I was like, never again. Because, like you said, it's so prompted. Like, the laughing and... You know, and actually, it was like, they recorded like 2-3 shows in one day. So it was like a very tiring, like, you know what I'm saying? It was just a lot. It felt like a job. Like, as an audience member, it feels like a job. So, it's free and you get to see the show, but I was like, I ain't doing it.
I was hurt when I couldn't get to the Tyra Banks show because you have to be 16. And it was like the week before I turned 16, the show got canceled. And I was like, what the hell? Like, what are the odds? I waited for this all my life.
You remember Kiki Palmer had a show?
Yeah, was it good?
I liked it.
I heard it had really good reviews and people were asking what happened to it.
I like Kiki Palmer, yeah. I would like to go on a show like that then. Maybe, well, no, I don't know. It was just too much work. Because I'm pretty sure those shows you still got to clap and they probably they don't just take one show. They probably, well, Wendy Williams, she seemed like she's the one who, hers is live every day, right?
Yeah, see, if I go to New York, I'm going to see Wendy Williams. Yeah. Everybody know I love her.
Maybe we should figure that out.
Don't judge me.
Maybe we should figure that out.
Yeah, and she got a live studio audience now. Yeah. I love Wendy Williams. So, yeah, y'all. So, we're going to go ahead and jump into our episode. Today, we're talking about grandmas and their influence. And so, to kick it off, Donika, tell me a little bit about the grandma you want to discuss today. Because we got to pick one.
Oh, no. Why would you... Oh, no.
Are both your grandmas still alive?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thankfully, gratefully, all of that good stuff.
Yeah.
It's hard.
You want to talk about both? We can.
I'll talk about one for sake of time, and also just...
Girl, bye.
I'll talk about one. I'll follow instructions. But I most definitely love both of my grandmothers. And, you know, to have, like, your maternal grandmother, your paternal grandmother in your life, like, present is pretty dope.
Yeah.
I actually grew up with both my great-grandmothers in my life, too.
Wow.
And so up until, I think my great-grandmother on my dad's side passed away now, like, I think 4 years ago.
Whoa.
Maybe 3 or 4 years ago. But before then, she, you know, she had been there. Then my other great-grandmother, she did pass away when I was probably like 14 or something.
Okay.
But I grew up with grandmothers.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, so, in talking about grandmothers, I would choose my grandmother. We call her, and where I'm from, we call our grandmothers Granny. So we say Granny Tina, Granny, you know, whatever your name is. So my Granny Tina, that's my dad's mom, and I would say that's who I'll be talking about today.
That lady love you. I don't even know her. I just see her on Facebook. I'm like, who is this?
But Granny Tina love everybody. If I brought you around, she would do the same for you. Like, she would be commenting. Like, she loves, like, she's just really one of those type of grandmother like people. She got so many grandchildren, and I'll be like, how do you remember our names? Because at this point, she has great-grands, great-great-great-grand. Like, she has A.
Oh, my God.
But no, like, dead serious. If I brought you around.
Does she remember?
If I brought you around, she'll never forget you.
That is funny.
Yeah. But that's who I'm going to talk about today. Who do you think, which grandmother you going to choose?
This is hard. I shouldn't even ask this question. I don't know. Because, I don't know. Okay, I'll talk about my mom's mom. I mean, I could talk about my dad's mom, but she's interesting. I always say that grandma is, like, weird. Because it's like she loves me, but, like, she has a weird way of showing it. I'm, like, the daughter she always wanted because she didn't have any, like, daughters. So, like, she's done stuff for me, but still I'll be like, something about her is weird. And I tell her, like, Grandma, you so weird. It's something about you. But my mom's mom, Granny, which everybody call her Granny. Even her kids call her Granny, which is so weird. It's like, that's your mom, not your Granny. I'll talk about her. She's also, like, the neighborhood Granny. She's everybody Granny. So, like, where my mom grew up, everybody on the street know her. people have stayed in her garage, stayed in her house. Like, she's everybody's granny. Like, I didn't know the lady name for a while because I was so used to people calling her granny. Like, I never heard nobody call her, like, by her name or call her mom. It was just granny. So, yeah, I'll talk about my mom's mom.
Ain't that interesting, y'all, that we both the grannies we talking about, everybody calls them granny, and everybody, like, knows them.
Everybody.
Gets that
and I would be so confused, like, are we cousins? Like, why are you calling her granny? Oh, yeah, that's such and such from down the street. I'm like, what? I'm lost.
Right. Not your, basically, it's not your granny. Don't call my granny.
Yeah. I love my granny, though. What's something your grandma has told you that has... Actually, no. I want to start and share a little bit about your grandma. Like, paint the picture for us.
Ooh. Because when you're thinking about someone who's lived life at this point, right?
Your grandma's young, though, right?
She is young. That's the thing. Even within, like, her being a younger grandmother, like, she's lived a lot of life. Like, my grandmother had my dad when she was 14, right? Wow. And so... 14 years old, raising a kid. Back then, like, imagine that.
Yeah.
I think, she had 4 children. My grandmother, she got married when she was younger, I believe. That lady done been through a lot, child. And she'll talk about it. That's what I like about my grandmother.
Maybe you should have had her on today.
She would most definitely do it too. We're gonna have to do that.
I mean, she be promoting our stuff all the time.
We're gonna have to do that. Yeah, we'll get her a little clip or something in. But for sure. Cute. She's down to, like, you know, to answer and ask all of that good stuff. But I guess in talking about her, I would define her as, like, resilient. In a sense of, like I said, she's been through a lot of different struggles from, like, you know, violence and, you know, drugs and, you know, growing. I mean, you're at least thinking of, like, grandma, even our parents, they actually grew up, obviously, in the crack pandemic and all of that stuff.
They did,
And so you're dealing with, like, drugs, you're dealing with racism on a whole different, very personal level. You're dealing with systemics of, like, your environment. That's when, you know, obviously, I feel like a lot of times the men was going through the whole, like, a lot of black men, especially in particular, was going through a lot of, like, the jail system. And just not being able to be in the homes and stuff like that. And it was a lot of violence back then, too. When I don't know if you've ever, like, sat down and talked to some of these older folks, but a lot of them was shot and, you know, stabbed and killed, too.
And that was normal.
Yep. So... yeah, she's just been through a lot. So I would most definitely say resilient. I would say, like, a caretaker. Like, you talking about, oh, anybody can stay. I wouldn't say necessarily anybody can stay, but she gonna take care of you. She's one of them, like, grannies, and that's why I don't like it, especially now. I'll be like, I don't think people, y'all don't need to call her. Don't call her for everything. You know what I'm saying? But if you call her and be like, hey, I don't know, Poo-Poo need Pampers or something. Poo-Poo gonna get Pampers. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what time of the day is. Yeah, Poo-Poo go get some Pampers. And that's just what it is. She's gonna make sure you're good. So I think of, like, caretaker, provider, compassionate, going over and beyond. She's one of the people who just can get along with anybody. You go to bingo or something with her, and you like, why everybody know you? Because you don't have to talk to everybody. Or they don't have to talk to you. Like, that infectious type of personality where people just start talking and you just like, okay. And, my grandmother, she is married. She's been with my grandfather. I call him my papa just because he's been around since I was a kid. So that's like my grandfather. And she been with him since I was, you know, that's all I know. But so they've been together, and she's married, and, you know, they both retired and living a nice little life in a nice house, and, you know, they doing their thing over there.
Nice. Okay.
So that's how I would describe her.
Okay. My grandma, she has 7 kids.
Ooh.
And she came from Louisiana. Her and her siblings, and they all moved to Compton when Compton was white, and they all lived near each other. And my grandma miraculously bought herself this little pink house. If y'all are familiar with Compton, you know they have massive yards. Like, you got a massive front yard, massive backyard. You got your driveway whole side. But now I'll be a ton of my house there.
I didn't even think about that.
Yo, driveway holds like 4 or 5 cars. Had veggies growing in the backyard. And the Compton also known for horses. Had horses in their backyard, whatever. So that's my grandma. But she's lived a long life too. Oh, she's passed away now. But she's lived a long life too. Like, most of her kids have passed away before her. And so we would always talk about how does she, like... Because she always be singing. My grandma always talked about how she was packing away to go to heaven, which I'd be like, Grandma, shut up. Like, she'd clean her house. Like, I think I got to prepare for my time. I'd be like, girl, what the hell are you talking about? What do you mean you packing to go? Packing away. You can't take nothing with you. But she's seen, like, a lot of tragedy in her life, which is really sad. Like, she's seen her kids... Because my grandma lives in the train tracks. Her kids have been killed by the train. Her kids have died from, alcohol addiction, from, like, different illnesses and stuff. And the lady was still pushing on. My cousins got killed on her front porch. Still pushing on. Like, she lived rough life, but still singing all the time. She got up at 4 a.m. oh, my gosh. So, when I was staying at my grandma's house, she always had people staying with her. Like, it was always people in the living room, the garage. My brother grew up there. I always had cousins over, so I would sleep in her bedroom. Lady, every morning at 4 a.m. on the prayer line. All I know is I roll over and hear somebody singing. I'm like, what is happening? I'm on the prayer line, child. Shut up.
That's what she was saying?
Yeah, she would be singing on the prayer line. My grandma, like, she made things happen in her life, like, so, like, interestingly. Because, I mean, it was hard for her to really get a job. She didn't have no education. She never drove. But she'd get a little bit of money, go play horses and flip it. And she'd come back with money. She'll, like, win the lotto. She would, like, just randomly get, like, these buckets of money. Like I said, like, she paid for her house paid off. She always, like, made things happen for people. And I'd be like, how do you do this, lady? Like, what? Yeah. I don't know. But I don't know if I would describe her as resilient, though. Because... she, like, I don't want to put that on her because she still had her struggles. Like, I would more so say it as she persevered. Like, with all the people, like, dying. Like, most of her kids died before her. Like, when she died, she only had 3 out of the 7 kids left. 3 out of the 7 kids, yes.
Wow.
So, knowing that, like, your kids have passed on, like... her siblings passed right before her too, and she was like the middle child, I want to say. She had like 13 siblings.
Oh my goodness.
They all passed away before her. Like her younger siblings, she had one brother left when she passed, and he ended up passing shortly after her. But I mean, the lady, like, I wouldn't describe her as nice because my grandma would talk shit. Like, if your child ugly, she gonna be like, "Oh my God, what's wrong with your child?" Like, but funny at the same time.
My favorite type of grannies too.
Yeah, so it's like you laugh because you can't control it, but she just, oh my God,
like just brutally honest. They gonna tell you, they ain't gonna lie to you.
She gonna tell you to your face too. Yeah, she was funny, but I feel like she would always tell me, like, when you want something, like, you work hard, and, like, she was my person. Like, I always, like, leaned on her. I love that lady. But I would describe her as someone who persevered, and I would definitely describe her as soulful. Because even though I used to be like, Grandma, can you stop singing? Because it would be like, oh! And I'm like, where is this going? Like, you ain't even singing the song. Like, what is happening? So I would say, yeah, someone who perseveres, soulful.
Exactly what you talking about.
Yeah, and a real grandma though, because we be talking. Next thing I know, she sleep, and I'm like, what happened? We'll take her outside to go tend to her plants and stuff. We'll pull up in the driveway. She knocked out. And I'm like, what is happening? Don't wake me up. You see, I'm asleep, and I'm like, you're asleep in the driveway? Yeah. What is it to you? So she was our grandma. She watched Good Times all day. That's why I know every Good Times episode, Sanford and Son. Mm-hmm. And if you turn the channel and she would sleep, she would wake up and cuss you out. Okay. But she didn't for real cuss you out. And more so like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, she was interesting because it was like you had to like her. Like, you couldn't not like her. But yeah, that's my grandma. That's how I would describe her. But I thank her for moving here, starting a new life here. Her background, she was a maid most of the time, and then she moved here and she made miracles happen. I feel like she's like the queen of manifesting stuff. She's like, I want me a little pink house. She got her little pink house. She wanted a car, even though she can't drive. Got her a car. Like, anything she wanted. I think she went on The Price is Right before. Mm-hmm. Anything she wanted, like, she made happen. So I really love that about her. What is something your grandma has told you that has stuck with you? Why the face? So many things.
Yeah, so many lessons. I feel like that she done taught.
That's grandma's for you.
Yeah, like, yeah, I most definitely call her right now and be like, Granny, tell me a lesson. And she gonna have a few for you real quick. IDK, I don't know.
This is a hard one, huh?
It is, because I feel like I'm trying to think of. It hasn't been like. I don't know what my pillow say that she got me.
Oh, she got you a pillow?
Yeah.
Aww.
That's my great grandmother. My great grandmother used to give us gifts, and they always would have our names initials, or some of our names on it. I still got plenty. I got like plenty of stuff from that. So those are really thoughtful gifts to have. That will be like something you can always have. But
yeah,
I don't know. I guess just thinking of just how she shows up in general.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. You got something you want to go first? While I think.
I mean, I told you a million times what my grandma said. I think.
What's your grandma say?
People have told me I say this all the time, but my grandma always says that the people that you want in your life that don't show up in your life are the people who will beg to be in your life. She's always said that. And one person in particular, I won't say who they are, but this one person in particular, I always wanted them to like show up, be there for me, but it was like they were like in their own little bubble. And my grandma always be like, he's gonna beg to be in your life, like all the time. And now he do. And my mom always makes a joke out of it. Like, my mom always said that. And I'm like, I wish I could tell her, though, like, you don't want for people to beg to be in your life because you reach certain things. It should be because they want to be there. And I always am curious, like, what would her response have been? But she said that my entire life. Like, people will not show up how you want them to, but once you reach greatness, because I know you're going to be great, like, they're going to beg to be in your life. And so, yeah, I always think about that. Because I'm like, I wonder what her response would be if I could. Because at first I used to be like, stop, grandma, like, don't say that. But now I'm like, I wonder what her response would be if I was like, but I don't want them to beg when it's too late, you know? Like, I want them to, like, show up when they're supposed to.
Right. I think that in itself is like an internal exploration, if that makes sense. Of like, why do you want people to show up if they wasn't showing up, period? You know what I'm saying? Type of thing. But maybe that's like one of those. Yeah, you can really explore that. Yeah. I most definitely. No. Don't come in my life if don't wait. If it wasn't there, let's go ahead and leave it there. That's a good one though. Especially like, I feel like a lot of us can listen to that. Not even just like the kids, but like, yeah, we all yearn for like acceptance and all of that. But I don't know. I keep saying the social media piece. I feel like social media really is affecting a lot of people.
I feel like my grandma more so, now I'm thinking about it, I feel like she was so big on forgiveness, because I would see people like do her so wrong and I'd be so confused. Like, I've seen people do her wrong, and the way her heart was is just like, you know, people do me wrong, but who am I to not forgive them? And I always be like, what the hell? Like, no, like, people have done you really wrong. Like, this is like the 5th time, and she'd always be like, who am I to not forgive? And so it makes me think about, like, that piece where I'm like, do I really want to forgive you? Because now you want to show up? So then it's making me think, like, you know, if she did teach me this, maybe I should try to forgive. Even I'll be over it, though. Like,
there's levels to it. It's levels. But I do think, like, being cordial or whatever, like, you know, it depends on what's happening. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's something like, I don't know, you forgot to call me, and I don't know, support me at a different time, depending on what's going on. All right, but if it's something pretty, I can't even think nothing right now. But I think it's levels to this thing. But that's a good one.
It's definitely levels, but I feel like, I don't know, because I'm trying to break away from this thing of, I feel like when people have certain titles in your life, you expect certain things from them, and I'm really trying to break away from that. Like, let's say, for example, if you're my best friend, I expect for you to do X, Y, and Z thing. And if you don't do it, it's just like, ooh, like, that doesn't feel good. Or like moms, for example, like, you know, you think of a mom being nurturing, doing this thing, doing that thing. And then when the person doesn't meet it, it's just like, ouch, like, what do I do with that? How do I move forward with these things I expect from you? Because I think you should have expectations for people.
You can, but you also have to realize that everybody has different ways of showing up. And so either it's one of those where you are nurturing the relationship and you literally have to teach people how to treat you, even your mom sometimes. And people think that, your mom is supposed to know. But no, you have to teach even your mom how to treat you.
Yeah.
Or whoever. And so either you do that or you just accept that this person is not going to show up in this way that you think. And you have other avenues of, like, people who do show up in you this way. So it's not... Maybe your mom don't show up this way, but then you do have your best friend who shows up in another way. Yeah. Like, you picking... I feel like you can kind of create that. Or, if you want them to show up, you have to say something a lot of the time.
Yeah. I mean, the person that we're talking about, I might as well just say it, because he don't listen to the podcast. My dad.
He gonna listen to this one, y'all.
He doesn't listen to the podcast. He don't. Like, he barely even know what I do. He knew when I had a podcast till a year later. But I feel like, with him, a lot of people are like... That's just how he is. And I come to the point in my life where I don't care how you are. Mm-hmm. If you want to be in my life, you're going to change.
You're going to have to.
Yeah, so like with him, there's like a lot of back and forth. To now, though, I'm at the point where I'm just like, I don't care anymore. Like, I mean, I care, but it's like either you show up how I ask you or you just don't show up.
Right. But it has been some improvements, though, right?
No. I feel like it's on a week-to-week basis because, like, for example, like, I, like, said something to my mom, and so my mom takes it to heart. So I don't know what she called and told him, so there was improvement within the next day. But that was over the course of a week. It's a new week. I ain't heard from that man. So it's like a cycle where it's just like, all right, now you about to have a whole grandchild. Like, you need to change yourself, fool. Like, you can't be like that with your grandkids. Yeah. You have to change.
And maybe so. I do feel like that, too. A lot of times, like, obviously my experience that I'm talking about with my granny, I know my dad loves my mom, but I'm pretty sure he's had a very different experience with her than, like, I'm getting and that her grandkids are getting. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times, you hear that all the time, where the grandkids get treated completely different. You like, where was that compassion, you hugging, you emotion, and all of that?
My mom literally said that about her mom, because she was like, my mom was kind of, like, hard and stuff. Like, I knew she loved me, but she would curse at me sometimes. And I'm like, we had a very different experience. Very different, because, yeah, this lady, like I said, I slept in her bed all the time. Like, that was my homegirl. Like, I called her. She knew all my business. Like, and she never spilled the tea. Like, she wasn't telling my business to people. Like, that's my homegirl.
Yeah. So, who knows? It might, change.
Yeah.
Things change, but
we'll see.
Right. But, I was over here I'm thinking of, like, my grandmother. I feel like I've talked about this on one of the episodes or something. That she's most definitely, like, the whole... Like, speak up for yourself. And I think of, like, a time going to a nail shop and...
Oh, you did tell about this.
And she been like, do you like that? And we be like, why you gonna pay for something you don't like? Type of thing. Like, why would you pay for it?
Yeah.
And being like... Because it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable, like, speaking up in certain situations. Especially where you feel like people done... put in time, I guess. Like, you go to a nail shop, they done over here, sit here and did the most, and you don't like it, and, you're like, oh, I don't like it. And, it's just uncomfortable. But
yeah, it's very uncomfortable.
You have to speak up. And even in uncomfortable situations, like, don't walk away without being able to get what you need from something. So, so I ain't gonna lie, I don't like my nails right now.
Why not?
Just the shape of them. And I didn't speak up. So sometimes I do, sometimes it's a struggle, y'all.
Yeah, I ain't got my nails done since the last time I went and got them done because I hated them. I took them off within a few days. And I was like, this is why I go to LA for my nails. Because this is just, Compton. Because this is just bad.
Yeah. There's a few little San Diego spots I'm thinking of. But, yeah, but overall, speaking up for yourself. And if you know me, overall, I'm a pretty vocal person.
Yeah.
So, yeah, shout out to Granny for that.
So then, I wanted to ask you to share a memory. Do you have a memory, though? Besides that?
Girl, my granny talk about this memory all the time. I actually don't remember, but it's hilarious. Story time. So, this is actually, they say that when I was a kid, I always been stubborn and really, like, headstrong, like, speak up. So, my mom, them, and I blame it on them. As a kid, on everybody's birthday, you would get a gift, too. It would lightweight feel like your birthday, too. And so, they stopped doing it. I don't know how, I probably was like 5 or something. And my granny was like, oh, I guess she was like, we can't keep doing that. Think about how much money you spend. I don't know the reason why, but she basically sat me down. I sat the kids down and was like, it was my sister's birthday or something. I was like, where my gift or something, and she was like, oh, baby, you're not going to get it gifted. We're not going to do that. And she says that I was like, you ain't got to never give me nothing. She said that I was like, you don't have to ever give me nothing type of thing. I was just like upset about it. It was like not feeling it. And she said that she was like, all right, little girl, you know what I'm saying? Like,
oh my God, never give me nothing?
Yeah, so you ain't never have to give me nothing. So she said this was like, so my sister's birthday is in September, so I'm guessing that was had to be in. So here come Christmas, and she said that she is asking us, what do we want for Christmas?
And I said, still talking about don't give me nothing?
I said nothing. Like, don't give me nothing. Like, first of all, the memory of my, like, that's how you know I'm stubborn. Because I don't remember, but for a kid, because, kids, usually they, it's like they forget their attention span.
Yeah,
like,
she was holding on to that.
Yes. And so,
oh my
and so
God.
when she talk about that story, I just be like, dang, I was a little
oh my God.
Little stubborn little thing. And I can see that. Because I'm sensitive, and so like,
yeah,
and that's why I blame them. Because why would y'all keep giving y'all kids these gifts? Because then I didn't understand. You know what I'm saying? Like, what you mean I can't get no gift?
Yeah.
If I can't get a gift every time, I don't give none of the times. But she talk about that story all the time. So I love hearing it because I think it's just hilarious.
That is hilarious.
So I would say that is one of mine. Girl. Like, who did I think I was?
A kid. That's what the kids do.
Talking about, you ain't gotta give me nothing. That's how I am to this day too. I don't like feeling like a burden. If I feel like that, you can
gotta give me nothing.
You can keep it.
My memory of my grandma. So I'll never forget this one day. So you know how I said she would be talking about she packing up to go to heaven, whatever. She cleaning her house. And this one time she was like really going like cleaning her house. And I'll never forget, she was like sitting like halfway in her room, halfway in the living room. Because my grandma, she was always in a wheelchair. That was like her chair instead of sitting in a regular chair.
She was sitting in a wheelchair?
Yes. And she was roll around. Like, even because she could walk. Yeah. So anyway, long story short, what happened? Oh, she was like doing her cleaning or whatever. And I think like Sanford and Son or something was on. Oh no. Soul Food was on. The movie. And I'll never forget, she was like doing her thing, whatever. She didn't really talk. And then when I was leaving, she was like, she yelled something. I didn't hear her. So I was like, what did she say? So then I went back, opened the door. She was like, oh, I love you. And then a few days later, she ended up passing away. And it was crazy because 3 days later, she like went to the hospital. And we were like, what's going on? But my grandma was always in and out the hospital, so I didn't take it serious. So I was like, she fine. Long story short, she's in the hospital. Her health got really bad. She ended up passing away. And I say all that to say it was weird because the way she yelled, I loved you. Soul Food was on. Soul Food played like for a whole week straight. It was so weird. Like, that's the only thing that came on the TV. And like, I don't know why that memory is like so vivid, but I just remember that moment because I remember we came back to her house after she passed because, like I said, I always have family living there, but the house is like empty. Like, this whole time she was gone. I think we just drive by to check on it, but the neighborhood knew her. Like, the door was always unlocked. We never locked the door.
Wow.
Yeah, dangerous Compton. We never locked the door. But the neighborhood watched the house and stuff. And I just remember when we returned back, it was so, like, eerie. Because it was, like, Soul Food played over. And I'm not talking about the Soul Food show. I'm talking about the movie. It played over and over and over. And I just remember everything was, like, the same way she left it. And, like, I still, like, have vivid, like, imagery of, like, the way she was, like, halfway in her room, halfway out. Because it's either she was fully in the living room or fully in her bedroom. Like, she was never, like, in and out like that. And the way she, like, called me back. Because usually I just, like, me and my grandma, we had a funny relationship. It's like we were mean to each other, but we were nice. Usually I'd be like, oh, my God, like, shut up. Like, what do you want? Like, I'm not coming back to see. But this time I remember, like, going back to see, like, what did she want? Because it must have been, like, something serious. And yeah, she's like, she made it known, like, I love you. Even I was, like, with my mom, too, and other people. Like, she can say it to them.
Wow.
And it's crazy because my mom had just bought me, like, this digital camera. And prior to that, I was taking pictures of my grandma because I was just like, whatever, like I'm just clicking stuff. Took pictures of her sleeping because she would sleep like this. So I took pictures of her sleeping. I took pictures of her like sitting in her chair, like hanging out. Keep in mind, like nobody took pictures of her. All her pictures were like, oh. And so I also remember when they were creating the obituary, they were stressed out because they were like, we want to have like a recent picture that reflects how she looks. And I remember telling my mom, like, actually, like, I've been taking pictures of her, like, the past week. So it's just weird how things happen. Like, I took all these pictures of her. Yeah. She called me back. And, like, the soul food thing. Like, even now, like, I love Soul Food, the show, but it's weird watching the movie. Because it's like I have, like, flashbacks of, like, what the hell? Like, this is so eerie. Like, the way that all happened. But, yeah, that was my lady. Love that lady.
Yeah, no, she sounds amazing.
She is. It was like she was like so like rough around the edges, but like so like sweet at the same time. Cause like I'm saying, usually if she like called me, I'd be like, I'm not going back, cause she gonna ask me to do something. Like I'm not, cause you know how grandmas be like, hand me this, do this, do that, yeah. Go to the store real quick and come back. So usually I would be like, I'm not going back. I'm gonna act like I didn't hear nothing. Cause also she had all my cousins live with her. She had like 6 of my cousins live with her.
Literally.
And my brother. Yeah. So I'm like, she got options of people.
So you knew your grandmother loved you.
Yeah, she definitely loved me. She let it be known, like, all the time. She would, it's very weird, she'd bite you. That's how she let you know.
Oh, dang.
She bit all her grandkids. When you're a baby, like, that was just a thing she did. Like, she bit them. And the baby be screaming and stuff. Yeah. She bit all her grandkids. That was, like, her mark. Like, and, oh, my God, random. So, remember how I said her sister lived around the corner? Mm. So, her sister had just as many kids, just as many grandkids. She would call her sister, yeah, I saw your grandchild. It looked like a puppy dog. Like, my grandkids don't look like that. Oh, my goodness. And we would be looking like, Grandma, you cannot call and tell people that. What the heck?
Not a puppy dog.
Yeah, she was hilarious. How has your grandma impacted your life as a Black woman?
I think unconsciously, you know what? It's so interesting because in my household, I feel like in specific, like how things are now, where it's like very obviously I'm not Black, you know what I'm saying, and I grew up in Kentucky, but like I don't feel like it was ever like a specifics to being a Black woman. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, like even like my mom or thinking of my granny, I don't never being like specifically like you are a strong Black woman. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't never really remember hearing that, which is so interesting. It was just more like I guess watching them lead by example, like being able to see them show up in a room, like no matter who they're in front of, they're gonna show up. You know what I'm saying? As themselves. And not like I don't want to say demean, but my grandmother, she was never like, even growing up in her, you know what I'm saying, her era, like it's not bowing down to a white person or something like that. So I always just taught me as a Black woman just to like have my head held high in a sense of like how I feel about myself and just like confidence. She was like my grandmother. That lady there. Oh yeah, she keep herself together. Like she the jury and the color coordination. Like you gonna be nice. She ain't play about that type of stuff. Yeah. She most definitely with them grandmothers, the whole bonnet thing that was going on. I think I talked about that. She ain't having it. You ain't going out the house with no slippers on, no bonnet, nothing like that. And that's just because she felt like you're supposed to have like your best foot forward when you walk out the house type of thing. But yeah, I guess literally just watching her life was the example of like just being the best that you can be type of thing. Yeah. Never stressed to like family being something important in my life in general. Yeah. She's never been like, you don't need like a partner or a spouse, and obviously she had a spouse, but it never felt like, you know, some people family push it on you like you need to get married and you need to have. It was never, and still is never. Yeah. Like she don't push stuff like that. Yeah. So just living your truth. Go out here and do your thing. Do your thing.
Yeah.
Have fun. And that's pretty much it. What about you?
I agree. I think it's interesting growing up in like a predominantly black neighborhood. Because I mean, like I said, like I grew up in Inglewood where, like I feel like I grew up in like a black bubble. Because like I didn't realize white people, this is going to sound wild, but I didn't realize white people were a thing until I moved to San Diego. Because everywhere you went, like growing up there, everybody was black. Nobody was in competition with each other. You had like a few Mexican people. You had the 3 Filipino girls that I always went to school with. Like everybody knew them. We knew where they lived. Small community. And then my family all lives in Compton. Same thing. Everybody black. The Mexican people that live there, we know all of them. Like we literally all know each other. And I feel like my mom was the only person that ever talked about like race. Sometimes here and there, but that was more so like, you know, you play with black dolls type of thing. It wasn't no further than that. And it was like, understand that this is how you look. But with my grandma, she never really talked about being a black woman.
That's interesting, right?
Yeah. I, like, when I look back, the things I would say that she taught me, though, are that, you know, black people should own their home. Black people should have good credit. And again, like, she got it out the mud, not working. Because, I mean, she was a maid originally. And then after that, she would just take her money and flip it playing horses. Ooh. And, like, that's how she made money. And that's how she made shit happen. And my grandma was never without. She was never struggling. Like, she had struggles, but it wasn't struggles where it's like, we not eating today.
Right.
It was more so like, I'm going to figure it out type of thing. So I feel like with her, it was like, you got to own stuff. Like, you got to...
Ownership.
Yeah, you got to be able to get things when you need it. If you need to charge to a credit card, you need to have good credit to do those things. Like... I don't know. I would have to talk about my other grandma if we're going to talk about this. Because my other grandma, she was very different in that she grew up upper middle class from Texas. And she moved to LA. Very different upbringing. And for her, black women have to be prim and proper. Like, and she always tell me, every Sunday, you iron your clothes for every day of the week. You need to do your nails. You need to sit down and flat iron your hair. Well, not flat iron. Press your hair. Like, you have to be down to the nines. Like, you need to look good. Like, you need to have everything laid out for the week. You need to make your lunch for every day. And you need to just look good. I'm like, who needs to do all that? For what? Like, why? Like, you need to wear your pearls. Yes. Have your little jewelry. Like, you need to be prepared. And I'd be like, why? And she's like, because as a black woman, you need to present yourself in this certain light. I'm like, that's because you grew up differently. Because like I said, she grew up upper middle class. Whereas my mom's mom, they grew up poor. So her outlook is going to be different in that, like, the fact that she even made sure she bought a house is, like, mind-blowing. Because it's like, she didn't have that foundation. Like, her grandparents were slaves. Yeah. So, like, she didn't have that foundation. So, very different upbringings and how, like, they navigated the world. Because, like I said, you have my mom's mom who was like, just make sure you're good. Like, you can buy things. Like, flip your money how you need to. And my dad's mom was like, you got to present this certain way. Blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't know. It's very interesting. Like, even looking back, I'm like, it's so interesting how I was, like, placed with these people. Because, like I said, like, even, like, my dad, he grew up upper middle class. Again. And my mom, she grew up more so poor. And, like, navigating that, it's like, this is so interesting.
Yeah, no, I know it definitely wasn't. Everybody, both my grandparents, nobody, we wasn't born, no, not even halfway money from what I know. Like, everybody, both sides grew up pretty. I will say that on my mom's side, my grandmother, her mom had they had farms and stuff, and they actually did have houses and stuff.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, though. Never talked about money either with them. That's another interesting thing.
Why do you think older people don't talk about money? Because speaking of farms, my grandma still gets money off her farm in Texas. And I'm like, why doesn't she... Like, it's weird because, like, my dad's parents, to give a little bit of a background, they just grew up a little more wealthy. So, like, when my great-grandparents moved here, they bought 4 houses. And, you know, some houses in LA, how it's like they're side by side and, like, one part goes upstairs, one is downstairs. I forget what they're called. They bought 4 of those, and then, they had their land in Texas, and then my grandpa, he owns a whole block.
Yep.
And it's just so interesting because they don't tell me any of these things. Like, they don't, I'm like, so when you die, what happens to your like farm in Texas? Like, we just gonna like, what's gonna happen? Like, you need to tell us these things.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about.
We know nothing.
Yeah, I feel like we're gonna have a part 2. Cause I feel like now I'm over here. Like, I really need to talk about my other granny too. But and maybe we can do a part 2, and that's where we can like get some other people's
perspectives and stuff.
Yeah,
we don't have to talk about that because these generations, I don't know why they don't be talking about money.
I know, but
especially
I wonder
when they know stuff.
I wonder if that's just like, I wonder if that's really not a thing, and we just thinking from our perspectives. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to think of other friends I know whose grandparents have been around, are still around, type of thing. If they've talked about money, but you know what? I haven't talked to people a lot about like their grandmothers and what they've taught them necessarily. Well, my friend Sandria, I don't know, cause I feel like my mom don't. You know, even growing up, like my mom and my dad didn't really talk about money. So it's like, if they didn't talk about money, of course, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it's like, I feel like I will be the first in my next generation to talk about money, like, very openly.
Yeah. Well, y'all, hope you enjoyed this episode of Black Women Healing Podcast. Stay tuned for our next episode.
So, y'all, we have to shout out our friends over at Fiverr. We are officially a Fiverr affiliate, and I love Fiverr because you can literally go to them for any type of project you might want to work on, whether it be if you need a new logo, you need help with the resume, you need help with social media. They help you over there. So go ahead and check out our friends over at Fiverr. That's 5ERR. So 5 with 2 R's at the end. So go ahead and check them out with the link in our bio and tell them that we sent you.